Confusion becomes a problem. You might be at a point in your life where life on paper looks stable. You have built a career, possibly raised children, or navigated shifts in personal and professional identity. Yet, underneath, there is a quiet question: what is now? A confusion about what you want, what gives you energy, and whether things are aligned with what matters. Confusion by itself isn't bad. It is often a signal that growth is underway, that some part of your current setup no longer fits. But hardship begins when confusion goes unresolved, especially at mid career. Here are how and when confusion becomes a problem for women aged roughly 40 to 60, and what research tells us about the effects and what can help. Signs that confusion has crossed that line. Here are some of the warning signs that confusion isn't just normal midlife wandering, but maybe negatively impacting your well being and progress. Paralysis instead of optioning. You feel so uncertain you can't decide whether to stay shift or pivot. Choices feel risky, so you freeze in one place. Fatigue, energy drain, burnout. Even tasks you used to find satisfying feel heavy. Doing is exhausting, little seems to replenish you. Loss of purpose or meaning. What once felt like progress, position, income, recognition, no longer feels like it aligns with your values. You may find yourself questioning what you originally set out to do. Identity conflict also happens. The roles you have played, a professional, parent, caregiver, leader, or might shift or pull you in different directions. Some may diminish, kids grown, fewer external markets of achievement. Others may emerge in new ways, but confusion can become harmful if you feel disconnected from who you are. Health, emotional, or relational consequences like stress, anxiety, depression, decreasing mental well being, maybe resentment or dissatisfaction at home or work, sleep problem, physical signs. So, what research tells us? To understand how these play out, here is what studies show for women in this age range. Fulfill aspiration affects mental health. A longitudinal US study, Wisconsin longitudinal study of 3499 women, found that those who had not fulfilled earlier career goals reported higher level of depression and lower sense of purpose in life in midlife. Career satisfaction is tied to challenge, growth, and organizational support. In a study of managerial and professional women aged 50 plus, factors like whether their work remained challenging versus plateauing, how their health was, and how supportive their organization was predicted higher career satisfaction. Work engagement and job satisfaction influence quality of life. A Polish study of women 55 to 60 showed that being occupationally active and satisfied with one's work correlated with better physical and mental health and overall quality of life. Career momentum and identity matters. For women in their early 50s, those who saw themselves as maintaining or gaining momentum in their career, having work central to identity, higher status, good health, were more likely to report higher psychological well being. These studies show that unresolved confusion isn't just an internal discomfort, it maps into measurable outcomes for mental health, satisfaction, and long term well being. Why mid career is such a sensitive time? There are several reasons this period, 40 to 60, is especially prone to confusion and consequential effects. Life transitions is one, children having leaving home, caregiving for aging parents, bodily changes, menopause, health shifts. These open require reassessing priorities, re-evaluation of goals. Early career tends to be about growth, climbing, building credentials, and career is often about legacy, meaning, balance. The measures of success often change. Less flexibility in some areas like financial obligations, entrenched work roles, social expectations, possibly less tolerance for risk. This can make changing paths harder. Societal pressure and ageism. Many women report concern about how aging, gender, and workplace expectations intersect. Feeling too old or past prime can amplify confusion and freeze action. So, when confusion becomes harmful, ethical and practical thresholds. Putting this together, confusion becomes a problem when it leads to ongoing distress like anxiety, depressive symptoms, rather than just pondering or restlessness. It prevents taking any step forward because fear, indecision, guilt, or external pressure make all options feel impossible. It causes burnout or health decline. It erodes relationships, self worth, or identity. You start measuring every decision or inaction against what you should have done or what others expect, rather than what feels authentic to you now. What helps regain clarity and avoid confusion traps? Here are practices and strategies supported by research or narrative that help women navigate this turning point. Reflect on past dreams and values, revisiting what you once wanted, career, life, personal goals, not with regret, but to see what still resonates. Research shows that dream success is connected to mental health when supported. Reassess what success means now. What feels meaningful today would be different than earlier decades. Definitions of success might shift from external markets, title, income, to contribution, balance, autonomy, purpose. Identity, what drains versus what energizes. Be honest. Which part of work or life you dread versus look forward to? Energy is a powerful compass. Small experiments, not large leaps, trying outside projects, volunteering, consulting, or new roles part time can ground what fits without upending life. Seek supportive environments, organizations that offer growth, flexibility, recognition of older professionals, improve satisfaction. Research indicates perceived organizational support matters. Also, peer networks, mentors, coaches help. Prioritize health and well being. Physical health, mental rest, dealing with life transitions like menopause, caregiving are all part of the picture. Neglecting these amplifies confusion. Claim the power of choice. Even when some constraints remain financial or familial, choosing small things, how you spend your time, what to say no to, shifts energy and clarifies what you want. What to do if you recognize the problem? If reading this you think, or listening to this you think, yes, that is me, here are steps to move from awareness to action. Journal or talk through your version of success now. Write down what you want more of, what you want less of. Map your current commitments and feelings. Which activities, roles feel soul draining, which feel reaffirming. Set a small goal, maybe one change you can test in next month. That is, redesign part of your role, delegate one draining task, explore a passion. Get professional or peer support, counseling, coaching, or peer groups focused on mid career women. List possible paths, no matter how unconventional. Sometimes options aren't obvious until we allow thinking outside standard boxes. So, for women in mid career, career confusion is often more than just a middle class. It is a signal that something inside is realigning. It becomes a problem when it stays unresolved long enough to erode well being, identity, or future possibilities. But the good news, it can be navigated with reflection, small actions, connection, and aligning with what matters now. Confusion can transform from a weight into a doorway of clarity. Hope this helps you. I am Sangeeta, a significance coach who help mid-career professionals rise up to their potential and gain significance slowly or towards it. Thank you for listening.